Thank you, Dick. I can call you Dick, I hope,
may.
since I've known you since before we both were actually high school graduates here in Montgomery. So I'll be a little more personal. And Rusty, I thank you so much for your service. And of course, Tripp, I've known you since forever, when we both started in this process known as education policy. And Senator as well, you know that I know you've been very much involved in the education community here in Montgomery in very many ways. And so I just appreciate your service. And I will address this, again, as Betty said earlier, not representing the majority vote of the board, but the minority vote in this case, which I think had some good ground to stand on at the time. And I do appreciate the fact that we're sitting here looking at educators. One of the bill's sponsor is an educator. The chairman of this committee has taught school. It's an educator. And for that reason, I'm going to, first of all, since you're all getting close to, or you're near my age group, use the larger version of what Rusty held up earlier. And these were pieces that were actually distributed by the State Department of Education and the Board of Education, promoting what were considered to be, at that time, the best standards, or among the best standards in the country. The Fordham Foundation, all of those organizations that we look to. Elaine Little mentioned Education Week and how we were recognized for standards that earned A's and B's. We were making progress, and all of you in this room remember, for the most part, some of you were not there. I guess I'm showing how long I've been in this fight, to be number one. Not equal, not lower, certainly. In fact, there was a time when I took office, we were considered to be among the lowest. We were at 47th, 48th. And then there was a time after we had implemented something called the Alabama Reading Initiative, which drew other states to this state. Massachusetts is one of those states, Florida, Texas. We could go down the list. We had people from other countries. We earned an award from the Education Commission of the States because we were doing something that other people wanted to do. They wanted to do something that was being done in Alabama because it worked. And the growth in student achievement was incredible. It was so historic on the National Assessment of Education Progress, which was again used this year, and we were at the very bottom. We drew the attention at the national level in a very positive way, not in football, but in education. Not only did it benefit those children, which should be always our number one priority, not business, not industry. Let them do the same thing that each of those on this front row did in making decisions for your own life, but give them those solid tools to make that decision. One of the things, and I'll finish since I got the signal, one of the things you didn't hear about the graduation rate increase said we went from 72 to 89. The year before the 72, we had 87.7%. And that was before we got rid of a lot of the things that were used as measures for graduation. The bottom line is we shouldn't consider the status quo as the way to go. And I support Senate
Okay,
Bill
let's
60.
go ahead.
Thank you.
Stephanie, thank you for here. It's been a lot of years, but not a very long time. It goes by in a hurry, doesn't it? You just mentioned something about the high school graduation rates, which are one measure of being at 89%. And you said they had been at 70 the year before, but the year before that,
No, 72% 4 years early, but the year before the 72, it was actually very close to the 89%. So if you look at the history.
I just would like to know your thoughts at a later time, exactly what those, because I mean, it means more having been high and dropped and come back, just to understand all the important parts of that result. So thank you.